Welcome to Cheat Sheet Tales, where secrets slip, lies unravel, and the truth always has a twist. Real stories, raw confessions, shocking betrayals. Drop a comment if you've ever caught a red flag too late. Now, let's get into today's tale. What if the one you trusted most destroyed your heart and you destroyed their world in return? Stay with me, you won't believe how it all unfolded. It's about standing up, walking away, and showing strength when love turns into lies. If you've ever been hurt, you'll feel every word of this journey. Make sure you stick around. The ending is something you don't want to miss. Lena, my wife, has fair skin, blue eyes, freckles, and is naturally blonde before we were married. She had cheated on me once while we were dating in college. She was forgiven by me, Jenny. At the start of the year, I have observed several shifts in attitude that parallel Lena's attitude during her college cheating Lisa. Our intimacy began to wane. I began to have significant doubts about my wife's loyalty. Finding out where she is would be a simple first step. On my wife's phone, I activated the Find Scarlet phone app. 2 days later, I discovered my wife's phone was at home while I was seated at my office. At work, she visited a lot of places as a real estate agent, but not our house. On a Wednesday afternoon, I drove home after telling my boss I needed to take a lengthy lunch. When I arrived at our house, the only vehicle in the driveway was my wife's. I reasoned that perhaps she was simply receiving something from home. I knew she was cheating as soon as I entered the house. Voices came from the bedroom upstairs. I went to the bedroom door and pressed my phone against the door's edge to record. What was happening inside as my phone recorded the scene? I could see the video on the screen. My wife was in the room with Derek and Elise. Our neighbors both have young children and are married. There was a big rubber sheet over the bed. The rubber sheet was something I had never seen before. This was undoubtedly prearranged. I had no idea she had these tastes. She said, "I'm not that kind of girl," and cut me off from intimacy for more than a month after I tried to be more assertive with her. Once, Elena, giving it some thought, I concluded that the video I had was sufficient. I slipped out of the corridor. I went to the kitchen, got a drink, and thought about my new situation. I was now aware of my wife's infidelity. My wife was no longer what I desired. I need to come up with a plan. I said aloud to myself, and no one else thought I have to discipline her. I got a notion when I was standing in the kitchen and said out loud, "Yeah, that's exactly what I am going to do." I walked to the refrigerator, removed every bottle of wine except for one, and placed them in the kitchen cupboard. From her handbag on the kitchen table, I took 2 of her sleeping pills, ground them up, and added them to the 1 bottle of wine I still had in the refrigerator. Took my laptop back inside and took a seat at the dining room table. I stopped to hear what was going on upstairs. They were going about their business based on the noises. I went online and removed Lena from both my life insurance and medical will. I divided up our money. I started filling out some state-specific DIY divorce forms that I had downloaded. Elena, a while. I heard the shower upstairs begin. They spent more than an hour inside. Our dining room is right across from our front door where our stairs terminate. I said, "Maya, guys are so caught."
When the 3 of you came downstairs, I forwarded your video to your spouse. Enjoy your separations. On the stair landing, they all froze in disbelief. The first to become better was Derek. "What did you do?" He cried. Derek is 20 low B, primarily fat, and
"2 and taller than me. Just as you ended my marriage, I did the same for yours," he yelled. "I'm going to hurt you." I got up and took 2 carving knives I had stashed under a table linen before. Derek had the nerve to follow through on his threat. Holding a knife in each hand, I moved forward to get within a few feet of the 3 of them. "Do you feel the same way, Elise?" I asked, focusing solely on Derek. "Don't want to be involved in this, man. Lisa, go, the door is there." I stared at Derek and held the knife in my left hand, pointing to the door. Elise ran out the door. "Derek, your backup is gone. It's just you and me now." "Derek, I never liked you. I've always known you were a dishonest, backstabbing jerk. I know who you truly are, which is why you never liked me." "Derek is furious with me. I'm going to injure you and take that knife away from you," pointing a knife at his face. I took a step closer. "Evelyn, go ahead and take action. I'm going to drive the other aiding carving knife right into your chubby abdomen when you try to snag it in your face, or perhaps I'll put this one in your left eye first since you're moving too slowly." Derek's eyes were filled with hate as he gazed at me. "Hurry up, tough guy. I can't wait to feel my knife pierce your flesh." I gave him a threatening smile. "Big dude, hurry up. I'm eager to hurt you right now. I really want to hurt you. I'll provide you with some motivations." Carlet's wife has always liked me more than you, and now that I know I have a far greater personality to offer, I'm going to speak with her after this. The personality statement felt wonderful because it was genuine, and I knew he was jealous of the warm connection he shared with his wife. Derek's face became even redder. Tough, dude. What's the matter? Maya always boasts about your toughness and your refusal to give up in a fight. This is your chance. Then I hurried forward and jabbed the knife into his face. Derek recoiled. He would have lost a left eye if he had not. Derek's expression shifted. Derek knew I was serious after nearly losing his sight. His eyes were filled with anxiety, and I could tell from the sweat trickling down his legs. I knew that Derek would only talk as I stared at him after he had finished embarrassing himself. Derek, I remarked patronizingly, you're messing up my floor. Leave my house, I'll forget you. Naturally, he let out a scream and bolted out the door. I muttered aloud to no one in particular, pity, I really hate Derekas. I watched him sprint down the street. I wished I could have seen him in agony on the ground. Lena appeared scared and pale. Come on, dear, I replied happily as I closed the front door and turned to face Lena Sierra's talk. Take caution. Don't mess with a tough guy. He repositioned the two knives beneath the tablecloth and took my seat at the dining room table. Lena skewered to the chair as soon as I gestured for her to sit across from me. I'm so sorry, Lena murmured in a remorseful tone, clearly shaken by what I had done. To Derek, he replied in my normal voice, yes, you are. As I flipped through the documents in front of me, what a sad excuse for a person you are. I shoved some documents across the table for Lena to view before she could make another dumb excuse. I've completed these online divorce forms. Jenny, there is no blame here. We shall divide everything equally. That I'll keep my 401k and give you the house. I've already transferred half of the savings and bank accounts to my own account. I terminated the credit cards after paying off the remaining balance. I'm being fair and trying to get this divorce finalized as soon as possible, because I want you out of my life as soon as possible. But there won't be any alimony. The contrition vanished, but the shaking persisted. I'm not aware of my rights. Maya earns far more. I want the house and alimony. Do you want your parents, relatives, and friends to watch the video? In fact, I believe that any boyfriends you meet in the future might receive a copy. That would be a huge blow to your hopes of marrying the future wealthy person of your dreams. I paused the video of her with the neighbors and showed her the screen of my phone blackmail. She exclaimed, it's not my fault that the video I sent was shared by Elise's and Derek's wife, Jenny. You split up their families. They must genuinely despise you. Sign them, I replied, pointing to the documents before her. It's the best offer you'll find, and the longer you wait, the more likely it is that the video will be made public. Elena reviewed them, and she signed where I had indicated excellent. Today I'll file these. I'll be in and out over the next 3 days because I'm moving out. If it's okay with you, please leave me alone while I depart. I've already called into work to take the remainder of the week off, whatever you want. I won't let you have it. I am observing you. All right, Maya has an option. I then got up and went outside to submit the paperwork to the courthouse. Lena was seated on the couch with a glass of wine in her hand when I returned home in a little rental vehicle. She was not suitably attired. Maya might want to change your clothes because I have my phone filming video. Nova might want to respond. She smiled at me and made a gesture. I wanted to say something clever about the way she looked, but I kept quiet because she was getting really upset over the silence. Maya will miss me, you know. I looked at her for a while as if I could smell something bad. I then approached our bedroom and began packing my clothes without saying anything. She went inside the room after me and lay down on the bed. She tried to make excuses and charm me for approximately 20 minutes as I was packing. She said, I miss you. In an attempt to flirt, returned to me. She slid off the bed when my back was to her and started rubbing against my back. After I didn't answer anything she said or even glance at her, hurry up, sweetheart, I'll be better to you. I was totally unresponsive as she reached around to try to embrace me. Fortunately, my disdain and rage were taking precedence over all other emotions. She finally understood that her actions were not impacting me and that I would not be speaking. She released her grip and made her way to the bedroom door. Maybe I wouldn't have to be with other men if you were a better spouse, she shouted at me as she halted at the door. I didn't even look at her when I was packing.
I had always reacted to her advances during the years we had been together. She was obviously upset that she couldn't obtain a verbal or emotional response from me. Lena yelled at me as she hurried downstairs. "I wouldn't have left if you had been a better husband. We wouldn't be experiencing this issue if you gave me more attention." From the bottom of the stairs, she unleashed her final tirade. "If you don't apologize for how poorly you treated me, we will never be able to make amends." Wow, what a train wreck, I thought. She sat in her robe on the couch, sipping wine and watching TV while I packed some of my belongings into the moving vehicle. She acted as though she was unaware of me. Lena was asleep when I passed the living room an hour or so later while carrying a box. I went into the kitchen and looked at the wine bottle. It was nearly deserted. I approached Lena and gently nudged her. She had fallen asleep. In her ear, I shouted her name. No answer. I grinned and remarked aloud, "I love it when a plan comes together." Feeling proud of myself, I removed her wedding band from her finger and pocketed it. I put her phone in a kitchen drawer and put it on airplane mode. Lily of the blinds in the house were closed. I used a black blanket I bought when I was out earlier to cover the inside of the front door, which had glass. I also covered the garage, doors, windows. I unplugged the front doorbell as well. The remainder of the evening was devoted to packing up anything I wanted from the house, including her pricey jewelry and her priceless kitchen appliances and utensils. I started with these in case things didn't work out. She always feels sleepy for an hour after taking her sleeping medications, which last her 8 hours. It is absolutely hard to wake up my wife when she is under the influence of the sleeping drugs. I then crushed another of her sleeping pills and sprayed her open lips with the powder. Lisa, I added a small amount of wine. She swallowed it after coughing a little. Every 6 hours, I went through the same procedure. 8 a.m., Elena waking. I prepared breakfast for myself. I went outside and reorganized the backyard. After that, I secured the side gate with a padlock. I brought Lena outside and placed her on the lawn chair. After giving her another sleeping tablet, I had draped some big beach towels on a rope that I had placed between our trees. Ava, it was unlikely. It would appear as though we were drying towels next to our pool in case the neighbors happened to glance. Actually, it was to keep my wife asleep tanning by the pool, hidden from the neighbors. Throughout the day, I kept packing the vehicle, placing personal belongings in my extended stay motel room and things in a storage container. I gave Lena another sleeping pill every 6 hours. Additionally, I repositioned her chair approximately every hour to ensure she was facing the sun and not shaded by the hanging towels. An inconsistent tan was not what we wanted. Someone started hammering on our front door at midday. Then I took a quick look out our front window. It was the wife of Derek and Elise. They were shouting, "Come on out here, you home wrecker." As I heard that, "I will harm you, Maya, you awful person. You can't hide forever." To make the little moving vehicle fit in the garage, I had hired it. They attempted to enter through the side fence as I witnessed. Fortunately, they were unable to scale the gate. The house and garage appeared to be in utter darkness due to the black covering. Elena, 5 minutes or so, and they both left because it appeared that the house was empty. Lena was a lobster by the end of the day. I took Lena inside and placed her on the couch. After nightfall, to keep her cool, I switched on the ceiling fan in order to keep her unconscious. I reprogrammed my alarm to wake me every 6 hours. I moved Lena back outside to her lawn chair at about 9 in the morning on Friday. Unexpectedly, Lena was awakened by the sun's agony at 1 p.m. She stumbled through the rear door and I saw it. "What happened to you, Lena?" "Maya has a lot of sunburn. Drink this water." While lying on the couch, she was placed on the couch and I offered her some water that I had prepared. There was a sleeping tablet in the water. I brought her back outside to her lawn chair when she slept off again. Elena, I returned home, drained 2 bottles of wine and gave the laced wine bottle and the water glass she drank from a thorough cleaning. I brought Lena back inside and placed her on the couch after nightfall. The heat radiating from her body was palpable to me. The sun was already beginning to scorch her. 2 gorgeous, hot, sunny days had passed, and I waited till the sedative wore off. I took down the rope and towels from the backyard, unlocked the side gate, opened all the curtains in the home, and took off all the blanket coverings. I prodded Lena's tan stomach around 8 p.m. She remained asleep. An hour later, I made another attempt. "Don't touch me," Lena screamed as she woke up. "That I have to take you to the hospital." Lena was severely sunburned after dozing off in the sun. "Where am I? I was hurt." Lena was so sleepy. "I must take you to the hospital, Lena. For heaven's sake." "Maya looks awful. Maya has a bloated face." I drove Lena to the hospital. After she carefully put on her robe, she needed to be carried to the car by me. She couldn't walk because the bottoms of her feet were too burnt. The doctor asked me some questions after admitting her to the hospital emergency room. "How long? Was she exposed to the sun?" "I'm not sure. That I just moved out. Fortunately, I discovered her on the couch when I had to return home to retrieve some things. I believe she became inebriated and spent the entire day dozing off in the SU. Do you believe she will be okay?" "Yes, but unless we can reduce the swelling, we won't be able to determine the entire degree of the damage." "How awful is it?" I inquired. "Her entire front body is covered in second-degree burns. In some areas, she can potentially have third-degree burns. We are hydrating her to reduce the temperature and edema since she has sun poisoning. When I find out more, I'll let you know." That I stopped by to see Lena after the doctor had left. The front of her body was covered in burn gauze. Her lower torso was covered with a gauze pad. That I had ensured that she was always pointing toward the sun with her legs spread wide. I was approached by a lovely nurse who asked me some questions. "Envea, are you the husband?" "My ex-husband," I said. "Can you give her insurance?" "Details then?" "Not at all. She was removed from my insurance policy. She doesn't seem to have any other. When she wakes up, you will have to ask her." I turned on her and walked out of the hospital. I was packed when 2 policemen arrived at our house the following day. While the other cops surveyed our backyard and downstairs, one officer asked inquiries. He looked in the laundry room and kitchen, most of the time. "Could we ask you a few questions regarding your wife's hospitalization due to a sunburn?" "Do you mean Lena, my soon-to-be ex-wife?" "Divorce, I understand. When was the last time you saw your wife without a sunburnt?" "Thursday would be that day I visited several times to retrieve my belongings. The couch was where she was sitting. If she had been tanning on Thursday, could you tell?" "Indeed," I said, "her entire body had a nice red tint." "What time was it?" "Approximately 8 p.m. "How did you figure out how much of a tan she had taken off her clothes?" "She was attempting to talk me out of divorcing her after I caught her cheating on my 2 neighbors on Wednesday." Lena had confessed in numerous texts while intoxicated that she had been pursued by Derek, but she had instead wooed Elise. Lena believed Elise was cute and young, and she wanted to be with both men. I had witnessed Elise's excitement when Lena answered his naive flirtation at one of Derek's picnics. Elise intended to end their relationship after their first date, claiming it was an error. Jenny, Elise was under pressure from Derek and Lena to continue using the pictures that Derek had taken in secret. Elise discovered the hard way just how weak and untrustworthy people can be. Derek was truly frightened by you. Lena's bright eyes were beaming with delight as she gazed at me. She was remembering the thrill of the occasion. It energized her. I could see by the look in her eyes that she hoped I had tried to win her back. I gave her a lifeless look till the hope vanished from her eyes. Regarding Elise, his spouse calls him awful names in front of everyone, including their children. Neither Elise nor anybody else will ever forget it because of her. She shared your movie with his family, his friends, and me. I asked Elise if we could meet up at the grocery store. He broke down in tears and collapsed on the ground. When the police arrived, I departed. Derek is less broken than he is, as she remembered how Elise and Derek had regarded her and what she had done to ruin their marriages. I could see the troubled expression in her eyes. Lena tried to calm the discomfort by taking a large swallow of wine from her glass. "Why don't you provide them with the same options that were successful in the past? I am no longer able to be intimate." "Why not get sick?" "The sunburn. No sensitive places hurting that much. Maya doesn't know why sensitive spots hurt like hell. I have to cover areas of my body with gauze pads all the time. It hurts even to breeze across them. I got the impression that you enjoy that sort of thing, Jenny." I don't believe Derek and Elise are really interested in those fields." She began to cry that I was irreversibly injured by the sunburn. Lena said, crying and half shouting, "What?" I inquired. She claimed that as a result of her tears, my vulnerable spots were as severely burnt as the rest of her. I had no feeling in those places once the skin peeled off. I can no longer feel anything, but the doctors say it might return. I no longer enjoy intimacy. Lena cried into her hands even more. I gave her a few minutes to cry. She was clearly hoping that my heart would shatter and that I would embrace her. Rather, I grabbed her wine glass and gave it to her. She took a few large gulps, sniffed, and smiled slightly at me. Incredibly so, she believed that a few tears, provocative clothing, and a smile would be enough to win me back. She expected me to be there for her, to support her emotionally and financially. Even after she broke my heart and treated me like trash, I grinned to myself. Her carefree existence had been completely upended by me, Evelyn, to destroy what little hope I still have and remove her from my life altogether. Lena stopped crying and gave me her brightest grin when she noticed my small smile. I approached her gently, pulled on her arm to get her to stand, and led her to the front door. She turned and rubbed her body against mine at the open door. "Don't you still love me?" she murmured, gazing warmly into my eyes. I responded, "Why?" As I carefully closed the door while gazing into her eyes. "I no longer adore anything about you." That I stood on my porch defeated and gently shut the door in her face. Thus, the story for today has come to a close. Did things go as you had anticipated, or did it take an unexpected turn? I want to know what you think. Sierra's starting a discussion by sharing them in the comments section below. Please click the like button if this story captured your attention. And now is the ideal moment to become a member of our community. If you're new here or haven't subscribed yet, every day I offer you new and exciting tales to ensure you don't miss anything. Click the subscribe button and enable notifications. I'll see you in the next one, and thanks for watching. Betrayal hurts, but survival is stronger. Here on Deceitful Love Stories, we share these real moments from Cheating Stories Reddit, so no one feels alone. If this story hit home for you, subscribe and join a community that believes healing always wins. More unbelievable stories from cheating. Stories Reddit are coming, and trust me, you won't want to miss what's next.